The princess's fourth child is strong and well. At His Majesty's request, I have resumed my duties. I've got some electrifying news about the Wales family that could rewrite the future of the monarchy. Imagine a single off-hand remark from a doting grandfather, sealed away in a casual speech, now exploding into headlines and sparking feverish speculation across the globe. Michael Middleton, the unassuming father of the Princess of Wales, dropped 7 words that have sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace and beyond. What if I told you those words weren't just a family anecdote, but a veiled announcement capable of upending royal traditions, shifting power dynamics, and handing the crown an unexpected heir? Prince William and Princess Catherine, already parents to 3 adored children, might be on the verge of expanding their brood in a move that's as strategic as it is secretive. And here's the palace's worst-kept secret. Their trusted nanny, Maria Barolo, has resurfaced just in time. Spotted in the family car during this year's Christmas royal lunch, fueling whispers of preparations for a 4th little royal. Before we dive into the clandestine meetings, the hidden health hints, the legal maneuvers to protect a growing legacy, and Prince George's subtle nod that went viral, you need to brace yourself. Hit that follow button, enable notifications, because the royal spin machine is already in overdrive to downplay this bombshell. And social media algorithms might bury this story before you grasp how it could redefine the line of succession. Picture this, a routine family gathering, polite applause, expected pleasantries, and then silence. The kind of silence that hints at thunder on the horizon. Michael Middleton, known for his low-key demeanor and steadfast support of his daughter's royal life, stood before a small audience in a talk that was meant to be unremarkable. But buried in his words was a phrase that stopped hearts. "I'm delighted to welcome my 3rd grandchild, and Nanny Maria has returned to lend her support." Think about that for a moment. The Middletons already cherish 3 grandchildren, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. So why reference a 3rd as if it were new? Insiders whisper it was no slip of the tongue, but a subconscious spill of a tightly guarded family secret, one that points directly to Princess Catherine, expecting her 4th child. Michael knew this revelation would ignite chaos, yet he let it escape anyway. Why? What family pressures or joyful impulses compelled him to hint at something so monumental? Here's where it turns explosive. Very few in the inner circle even suspected this pregnancy was underway. Not the senior aides, not the press pool, perhaps not even King Charles himself. At least that's what the palace wants us to believe. When those words echoed out, according to sources in the room, time froze, family, friends, distant relatives, all locked in disbelief. Because what Michael declared wasn't vague or diplomatic. It was pointed, clear, and loaded with implications. His mention of Nanny Maria's return wasn't casual either. It was a signal, a confirmation that the Wales household is gearing up for expansion. Those present described the vibe as electric. One guest later confided anonymously, "It felt like Michael had just lit a fuse under the entire royal narrative." The wording drew a sharp contrast between the current trio of Wales children and this implied newcomer, sparking questions about timing, health, and the monarchy's future. Who was this 3rd really meant for, and why tie it to Maria's comeback? The fallout hit like a storm at Mahal, where William and Catherine had assumed their family portrait was complete. Aides rushed to clarify, but every denial only amplified the buzz. Could it be a gaffe, a media misquote, or wishful thinking from pro-royal factions? But verifications poured in, authentic, undeniable, captured on record. It was Michael's voice, warm yet revealing. Now the story veers darker. Behind the scenes, palace officials debated suppressing the clip entirely. Imagine a grandfather's proud words scrubbed for convenience. Whispers of efforts to edit recordings or redirect attention surfaced, but they were thwarted by viral shares online. One advisor summed it up: this was a family joy turned palace quake, but hold on, because what follows will tug at your heartstrings. Fresh insights suggest Queen Camilla caught wind early. According to discreet logs from a former aide, she heard the remark replayed in a briefing. She paused, processed, and stayed silent. Was it respect for Catherine's privacy, fear of overshadowing her own role, or recognition that amplifying it could fracture the fragile unity she's built? We might never know, but her silence screams volumes about the revelation's potency. To grasp why Michael Middleton would drop such a hint, potentially risking royal protocol, we must rewind to the Wales family's recent trials and triumphs. In the shadows of palace walls during Catherine's challenging health journey earlier this year, something profound shifted. Sources reveal that amid her recovery from cancer treatment, Catherine and William revisited their vision for the future. Not just as heirs, but as parents, the monarchy has always balanced duty with dynasty. But for this couple, family comes first. Behind the polished appearances and ceremonial waves, William and Catherine faced a divide. One path clinging to the trio they've nurtured through scrutiny, the other daring to embrace growth amid uncertainty. What alarmed close confidants wasn't public pressure or tabloid tales. It was private glimpses of their resolve. In quiet evenings at Adelaide Cottage, they reportedly discussed expansion, weighing the joys against the burdens of raising royals in a digital age. On one side, George, Charlotte, and Louis represent stability, a compact unit learning restraint and service. The next generation absorbing the crown's weight without fanfare. Catherine has often spoken of early childhood's importance, emphasizing prevention over cure in shaping resilient minds. On the other, whispers of a fourth child stir unease among traditionalists who fear diluting focus or inviting more media frenzy. Michael, ever the strategist in his subtle way, saw the existential pull of these visions. He'd witnessed monarchies adapt across generations, understanding survival hinges on evolution, not stagnation. In private chats with family allies, he voiced concerns not about change, but confusion. Two futures tugging at the throne's core identity. A monarchy thrives on scandal survival, but can it endure without clear direction? Insiders now stepping forward claim Michael grew concerned by external influences, potentially overshadowing the Wales' priorities. Let's be clear, Michael isn't one for overt power plays. His role has been supportive, grounding Catherine in normally. But what unsettled him, per a family associate, was how distractions might erode the family's unity. His worry wasn't personal, it was protective. A dynasty rooted in mystique can't afford blurred lines. In a noted exchange with a relative, never intended for public ears, Michael reportedly warned, "If you pause too long, the moment passes you by." Ask yourself, surveying the royals today, do his hints ring true? Meanwhile, Michael's admiration for Catherine runs deep. He views her as the family's anchor, rare in her poise under fire, enduring scrutiny without falter, projecting calm amid chaos. To Michael, that steadiness isn't passive, it's fortitude. While others chase headlines, Catherine stands firm, present, unyielding. A Middleton insider recalls him calling her the glue holding it all, faint praise from a man sparing with words. But his concerns transcended family ties. In recent months, amid succession talks, Michael flagged vulnerabilities that could unsettle the realm. With William's path to the throne solidifying, he feared unresolved public curiosities about family size might brew unrest. What if speculation spiraled? What if internal doubts turned public? What if the balance sustaining the crown for centuries tipped? For a man observing from the sidelines, these weren't hypotheticals. They were calls to action etched in familial bonds. So, Michael did what devoted grandfathers do. He signaled subtly, planning for a contingency where joy outweighs caution. That's the essence of his remark. Not oversight, not error, intentional nudge, urging the world to prepare for what's brewing. When Nanny Maria Teresa Tyrion Borrello was spotted slipping into the family car during this year's Christmas royal lunch at Buckingham Palace, it wasn't mere coincidence. She expected a low-profile reunion, perhaps a festive check-in on her charges. Instead, she received a summons that altered her trajectory. The sighting, captured by eagle-eyed photographers on December 16, 2025, showed Maria alongside George, Charlotte, and Louis. Her presence a quiet bombshell. Why now? after reports of her scaling back duties. Sources say it was Michael's nod in his speech that accelerated her comeback, tying her role to the third grandchild hint. As the car pulled away from the palace gates under centuries-old arches lined with holiday decor, Maria's expression was composed. But insiders claimed she was briefed on the bigger picture. The return wasn't just logistical. It was laden with trust, preparation, and perhaps a touch of palace intrigue. Maria, trained at the prestigious Norland College, has been the Wales's steadfast ally since George's infancy in 2040. Her Spanish roots bring warmth to the household, enforcing rules like no kids label, insisting on children to foster respect. But this recall, it signals expansion. Catherine reportedly reread Michael's words multiple times in her Windsor study, her circle noting her as thoughtful, not anxious. The implications were stark. Embracing a fourth meant re-engaging Maria fully, defying those who thought the family complete. To ignore would betray the organic joy Michael alluded to. This wasn't mere child care, it was a mandate. Prince William's response, per aides, was layered. Caught between throne duties and fatherhood, he reportedly paced Adelaide's halls, murmuring, "He timed this perfectly." Because Michael did, always calculated, his words forced a pivot that couldn't be deferred. In a family communicating through nuances, this was a clarion call. Catherine, seeking counsel from one attuned to royal rhythms, turned to her mother, Carol. Rumors of a hushed Sandringham stroll emerged. No entourage, just two women navigating the news. Carol allegedly advised, "Embrace it your way." Keeper Mercy's that wisdom proved pivotal as Catherine orchestrated Maria's integration seamlessly. No fanfare, no announcements, but actions spoke volumes. Schedules are rooted through Maria's expertise. Playtimes infused with her structured fun. Invites to family events addressed her inclusion. First power wasn't shifting dramatically. It was evolving organically, unmistakably toward readiness. The palace buzzed. How deep would this go? And crucially, how would skeptics respond? Queen Camilla, never one to be overshadowed, reacted to Michael's slip with swift intensity. When the remarks surfaced in palace briefings, her response was sharp and strategic. Aides described it as charged with directives flying from Clarence House. Because this wasn't about numbers. It was legitimacy, continuity, the acknowledgement of Catherine as the monarchy's nurturing force. Michael's words struck at Camilla's narrative of a streamlined modern court. Within moments, she convened with King Charles in a tense dialogue that escalated to pointed discussions, leaving even him reflective. Insiders claimed she floated, reducing public family spotlights unless contained. A veiled push to manage the narrative. Imagine the strain, a king stabilizing his reign, now balancing his consort's concerns with his son's growing clan. This was the scenario Michael might have foreseen, perhaps even provoked in subtle support. Camilla didn't emote alone. She activated networks. Clarence House teams downplayed the third grandchild as a fond recall, not prophecy. Drafted statements suggested it echoed past joys, not future ones. Leaks to sympathetic outlets hinted Michael often reminisced warmly. But the genie was out. The speech was documented, shared, irrefutable. When softening failed, Camilla pivoted internally, auditing shared patronages touching family themes. The aim, recalibrate influence, reinforce her stamp. Soon shifts emerged. A youth initiative once Catherine led got reviewed. Then bolder groundwork for her own family ties in outreach roles, signaling legacy defense. It was clear this expansion wouldn't sideline her without resistance. But even bolder was the pressure on communication channels. Reports of inquiries to event organizers about the speeches, context surfaced. Language hinting at loyalty probes. The host, a Middleton ally, stood firm, yet the intent landed, challenge at your risk. As Camilla fortified, another group coalesced quietly, shielding the Wales path. Not all in the palace backed containment. In discreet huddles akin to covert ops, a potent alliance formed, dubbed the Inner Guardians by whispers. Their goal, safeguard Catherine, honor Michael's hint, ensure the monarchy's heart stays with family. Who comprised them? Carol Middleton, the matriarch, whose influence spans generations. Pippa Matthews, her sister's confidant, bridging normally and nobility. James Middleton, offering grounded perspective, and a key palace advisor, versed in protocols, uneasy with overreach. Together, they built a barrier against what they deemed disruptive. Their inaugural meet, shrouded at a neutral estate, was airtight. No leaks, pure strategy. Discussions dissected the speech, its ripple, its message. A discarded note captured the essence. This isn't disruption, it's destiny. These weren't rebels. They were preservers activating to nurture growth. The advisor flagged legal angles. If a fourth arrives, frameworks must shield from excess scrutiny. Carol confirmed something pivotal. Michael's words stemmed from intimate family talks, planned yet spontaneous. This wasn't rash, it was rooted. Then a revelation reframed all. A secondary note in family records, rarely invoked, endorsing continuity through care. The Guardian saw it as backing for expansion, not just heirs, but heart. Do you grasp Michael's true play? He wasn't announcing, he was anointing the future. Speculation peaked when Pippa allegedly shared she'd witnessed Catherine's quiet resolve. If accurate, the plan predated the speech deeper than imagined. Pippa's role active facilitator. Meanwhile, counterforces tracked these meets. Tensions brewed, the palace resembled a strategy board, moves deliberate, but Michael's hint wasn't so low. Another element loomed, casting shadows on containment efforts. For years, murmurs circled a rumored provision in royal directives known as the Legacy Clause. When a sealed family memo surfaced in a secure vault, dynamics shifted. This wasn't mere expansion. It was fortification. The document protected across jurisdictions held firm instructions. Only select kin could access. Michael and Carol opened in privacy with witnesses. Its contents rippled back to the palace. The clause, titled Familial Continuity, stipulated no barriers to natural growth, framing additions as strengthens, not strains. Hear it fully, it barred interference in family decisions, deeming them sovereign. Effectively, it shielded a fourth child from undue protocol. Irrevocable language was precise, a safeguard against external dilutions of core bonds. Otto framed as preservation, but subtext clear. Support for Catherine's choices, reaction, palace legals panicked. The clause's independence meant no easy overrides. Attempts to challenge triggered dispersals to trusts. One aide noted, Michael crafted this like a fortress, but who else knew? Eyes fixed on Carol, whispers. She held it in reserve, strategic, awaiting fracture. She neither confirmed nor denied her quiet amplifying. Clearly, this wasn't casual. It was a timed reveal, exploding to protect what Michael saw as vital, family first. In a move that left even her closest allies utterly astonished, Princess Catherine orchestrated her response not with outright denial or heated rebuttal, but with an elegance that has become her hallmark, launching a fresh initiative, issuing an understated yet profound pledge, and executing a transfer of influence that safeguarded the family's evolving legacy in ways no one could have foreseen. She eschewed any form of spectacle, avoiding press conferences or flashy announcements that might fuel more gossip. Instead, on a crisp morning, the Kensington Palace communications team issued a subdued press release that quietly appended the narrative swirling around the palace. This statement unveiled the establishment of the Wales Family Trust, an entirely autonomous entity crafted to champion the core values of nurturing, emotional resilience, and holistic child development, principles Catherine has long advocated through her early years' work. The sheer brilliance of this strategy lay in its design. The trust was structured to operate free from Buckingham Palace's oversight, accountable instead to public interest groups and independent auditors. In one fell swoop, Catherine had repositioned family decisions, including any potential expansions beyond the reach of internal politics, aligning them more closely with the everyday people whose support sustains the monarchy. Royal commentators and experts were left reeling, their analyses buzzing with admiration for her tactical acumen. Legal advisors who had been poring over familial clauses and protocols in anticipation of controversy suddenly found their efforts rendered moot. Completely outflanked by this innovative framework, Catherine embraced the implications of Michael's slip without ever seeking the limelight, appointing a select group of trustees renowned for their unwavering independence, unblemished integrity, and deep alignment with her vision of modern royalty. By doing so, she paved the way for personal growth, not through direct clashes or emotional appeals, but via a solid architectural structure that prioritized harmony. It was nothing short of brilliant, clean, without casualties, yet profoundly impactful in reshaping perceptions. But her actions didn't halt at financial or administrative maneuvers. They rippled outward as she began reallocating key patronages focused on youth and education, channeling them toward the rising generation. This included seeding initiatives for Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, while subtly carving space for potential additions, ensuring the family's narrative evolved organically. This was a masterclass in silent succession planning, sidestepping heated debates and raw sentiments in favor of proactive legacy-forging steps. Catherine wasn't merely reacting to rumors. She was cultivating a future where the monarchy's heart could flourish unencumbered. The public's reaction was nothing short of explosive. Her approval ratings skyrocketed to levels reminiscent of Princess Diana's most beloved eras, with polls showing unprecedented support. Editorials hailed her as the embodiment of the crown's compassionate core, while social media platforms lit up with hashtags celebrating what pundits termed the silent bloom of royal renewal. In contrast, Queen Camilla's public image, already tested by ongoing whispers, experienced a noticeable decline, with analysts pointing out her portrayal as a symbol of division against Catherine's unifying grace. Adding to the drama, a resurfaced clip from an archival interview emerged featuring Catherine discussing early childhood. Her smile warm as she remarked, "Family grows when it's ready in its own time." The release's timing felt orchestrated, too serendipitous to be mere chance, amplifying the buzz around a possible fourth child. Buckingham Palace, hemmed in by this blend of strategic finesse and surging public favor, responded with a concise acknowledgement, affirming support for the Wales family's personal journeys without elaboration. No elaborate ceremonies or public fanfare were deemed necessary. Camilla maintained a dignified silence on the matter, while King Charles, per insider accounts, offered no overt resistance, allowing the shift to unfold. A tentative peace blanketed the palace, akin to a fresh snowfall muting the world's clamor. Yet, amid this tranquility, a poignant final echo arose from an unlikely source, the younger generation itself. During a low-key public outing in Wales, with cameras capturing every moment and journalists in attendance, young Prince George faced a straightforward query from a reporter. "What do you aspire to be when you grow up?" The 12-year-old, standing beside his mother amid a group of school children, flashed the polished royal smile honed from youth. He hesitated briefly, glancing toward Catherine before responding, "I'll welcome whatever comes our way." The exchange was swiftly broadcast, going viral across platforms within hours, its enigmatic maturity tying directly into the pregnancy speculation. The quote sparked endless debate, rehearsed or spontaneous. Had the heir apparent already been subtly inducted into the family's unfolding story? Palace press teams hurried to downplay it as a child's innocent musing, a tender reference to heritage. However, corridors buzzed with suggestions of intent. Sources near Catherine revealed she had cautiously begun acquainting George with deeper royal insights, not via rigid lessons, but through engaging tales, mentorship sessions, and serene afternoons with a hand-picked tutor specializing in lineage, philosophy, and precedence. George's upbringing transcended mere kingship preparation. It emphasized discerning between inheriting power and truly deserving it. Fueling further intrigue, rumors circulated among royal enthusiasts that certain family archives, sealed troves of personal insights, had been preserved, not discarded, poised for George's eventual perusal to navigate expansions and challenges. As of now, a serene equilibrium holds at Buckingham Palace. Catherine carries on her engagements with her signature composed grace. The Wales family trust flourishes independently, channeling resources to cherished causes free from political entanglements. Camilla attends official events, fulfilling her consort duties impeccably, yet keen observers note the lingering chill in her interactions with Catherine. the unspoken tension louder than any overt dispute. King Charles navigates a neutral stance publicly, torn between paternal legacies and marital bonds, leaving insiders to ponder the toll on his inner tranquility. Michael's seemingly casual remark has fulfilled its subtle purpose, etching boundaries, inciting introspection, and entrusting the monarchy's trajectory to those who exemplify true duty. So, was it a visionary nudge toward renewal or a catalyst for potential discord? Voice your views below. If this tale captivated you as deeply as it did those within the walls, follow for updates. More disclosures loom, and the Guardians remain vigilant. Thanks for reading. Stay engaged.